Hey, it's the announcement guy. I wanted to tell you about something that's happening today, just coming up, Adventure and Faith small groups. You can sign up in the lobby or you can sign up online. Opportunity to get with maybe about 10 other Mile Highers, talk about our spiritual program that's happening for the next 5 weeks. So check it out in the lobby if you're in the building today, or check it out online. Good way to make our big community smaller. Here's what's coming up.
Having a good life even with fill in the blank with Reverend Linda Rangel. This 2-week online workshop begins Saturday, October 9th. Learn how to make life's challenges work for you and not against you. And don't forget about our 3 accredited classes starting this week. Prayer as a Spiritual Practice, Existential Metapsychiatry, and Pillars of New Thought. Saturday, October 16th, Trunk or Treat, right here in the Mile High Church parking lot, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Pre-register your kids, volunteer your decorated car, or donate candy by visiting our website, milehighchurch.org.
Hi, Mile Highers. Milo, my puppy, and I would like to invite you with all our heart to join us October 22nd, Friday night, for a deep, in-depth conversation between Mark Nepo and myself. We're going to be talking about what's going on in the world, how to work with our fears, where we're going and what the spiritual opportunities are for us, how we can reach out and make a difference. And the next day, Saturday, Mark has a wonderful workshop that you'll also love. I think you'll find it inspiring, perhaps comforting, and a really nice time. And of course, there'll be a few jokes around too. Right, Milo? Yep.
Okay, so small groups happening today. Sign up. I know everybody's excited about the playoffs coming up in baseball, but there's still time to deal with spiritual issues as well. So have fun. Join a small group.
Good morning, folks. Lovely to see you.
So I'll just take a second and introduce the man that we all remember from 2 years ago, Martin Kerr. He's here from Canada. It's so great to have you here, Martin.
Thank you.
Martin has had the number 10 album in Canada. During these COVID times, Martin has performed over 400 neighborhood concerts, giving some outdoor entertainment to people who are shut down up there in Canada. And we're just overjoyed to have you here. Thank you for coming, Martin.
Thank you so much, Tom. We're going to start off with an original song called Good Old Days. Does anybody remember the good old days? When were they? No one seems to know. For some people, it was 18 months ago. For people like me, it was the 1980s.
Yeah.
And for many of our politicians, it was the 1880s. Yeah. So it's called Good Old Days, but it's really about the here and now. And in this place, in this community, we still believe in a brighter future, in a world that works for everyone. We're not looking backwards. We take the wisdom of the past and we make it work for the future, for the here and now. So, yeah. There is a good clapping bit in this one, but I'll start you off when it's time to clap. But once I start you off, I need you to keep on going right to the end, okay? I believe in you. We got everything to choose and we can't commit, yeah. We got everything to lose if this ain't it. We got every kind of music and most of it is shamelessly overproduced bollocks. Oh, and every time I listen just a little bit to the radio, I hate it, though they say that it was better in the good old days. They say that it was better in the good old days. We got every kind of job at the minimum wage, yeah. And we're tallying abuses and we're bottling up our rage. And they say we really should be saving up for our old age, yeah. While they're jangling the keys and rattling the cage and we can't get out, let me hear you shout. They say that it was better in the good old days. They say that it was better in the good old days. access to our leaders and their ignorant sweets. Oh, but they don't even listen to the millions march in the streets. And they claim to be the job creators, but we know they're cheats. And you want us working harder when we're dead on our feet, but they're gonna fall. Let me hear you all. They say that it was better in the good old days. They say that it was better in the good old days. They lit the fire, now the world's ablaze. They say that it was better in the good old days. Oh, they lit the fire, now the world's ablaze. They say that it was better in the good old. They say that it was better in the good old. They say that it was better in the good old days. Thank you.
Martin Kerr, everyone, thank you for coming back to us. We're so grateful to have you. Isn't he incredible? And he's got product online, or we'll have some outside for us. And thank you to our music director, Tom Litch, for bringing Martin here, too. Welcome. It's an important day in the calendar of Mile High Church. It's the beginning of our Adventure in Faith program. We're so excited to get engaged with that. You know, one of the words that our founder, Ernest Holmes, liked to use for God was life. Why don't we just call it life? And I love the beautiful simplicity and the depth of that. And he would define that life. He would define God. He'd say that God is infinite energy coupled with limitless creative imagination. Infinite energy coupled with limitless creative imagination. And what I love about that is that infinite energy is around us all the time, but that limitless creative imagination, it's something that each of us must get in touch with within ourselves so the divine can discover itself, cultivate itself, and demonstrate itself through the powerful process of co-creating our lives. Are you ready to co-create your life with a greater sense of infinite energy today? Are we willing to expand our imagination individually and collectively? We can do it. Thank you. We got a yes. We have a great service in store for you, as you could already tell today, and each week we love to recite our vision and mission. They're coming up on the screens for you here or you watching at home today, and they go like this. Our vision, oneness revealed, a world of love, peace, and abundance for all. And our mission, to serve as a spiritual beacon for personal empowerment and global enlightenment. Let's get to work. Taking a collective communal breath, wherever we are, we join together in this mile-high consciousness for song and for prayer.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
So we allow ourselves to sense the stillness. Be still and know that I am God. That was written for each one of us, to realize that God life, truth, spirit, the divine. And I behold the very presence right where we are. Here in this beautiful sanctuary and online, we are connected because everything that we are has been cut from that divine cloth, that fabric of spiritual knowingness. All there is God. And oh, in this time coming together in community to remember this, to know that it's etched upon our hearts. So recognizing that our heart is that divine sanctuary, it is the pathway of our soul, and it is lit by love itself. The radiance of that light is the living reality of every human being, of all life, from the tiniest creature to the grandest. So I behold that union, that seamless union of who you are, who we are as humanity. So what I declare this day is those false perceptions that we're just a hunk of humanity, to let that go and to remember who we are as spiritual beings. Remember that divine inscription, God is, therefore I am. So I behold this truth for our community, for each one of you. I behold it for the United States of America, for all countries upon the globe, for Grandmother Earth, for all beings everywhere. And I take just a moment and I bless all those who have made their ascension, 700,000 in this United States that have left because of the COVID. Oh, we just bless them, because I believe and know in eternal life, and that eternal life is remembered right here for their families and friends, and they were wrapped in the warmth of love. So I behold all walks of faith, wherever they have gathered. We bless them. And I bless this service, for this is a container of heart, this service. So we stay open to the power of love, that light of love that is insight to all. So we just let go right now. Where do we let go? To the fullness of heart. So let us sit within our hearts. Let us move forth on our pathway, for it is pure grace. And I declare this into being, and so it is. Amen.
I wrote this song for my dad, and I send it out to everyone who misses somebody right now. We have crossed the seas together, breathe the ocean breeze together, watch the moon just wondering whether we would ever go there. Why is it so hard to say the things right in my heart, the way I feel? Now you're so far away, I wish that I could hold your hand. Way back when the sun shone and the waves never ended, we sang out and our voice rang through the caves as we wended our way back to the island and the White House by the bay, where I loved you and we always wanted to stay. If we don't say, then we won't know how we really feel. If we don't cry, then we won't grow, and we may never heal. Reach out to the darkness, there's always something real inside. What are we hiding from? Long walks with the spring wind at our backs, when the bluebells were blooming in the forest by the tracks of the wee brown otters who were lazing in the lake over the hill. And I wonder if you're there watching them still. If we don't say, then we won't know how we really feel. If we don't cry, then we won't grow, and we may never heal. Reach out to the darkness, there's always something real inside. What are we hiding from? If we don't say, then we won't know how we really feel. If we don't cry, then we won't grow, and we may never heal. Reach out to the darkness, there's always something real inside. What are we hiding from? We have crossed the seas together, breathed the ocean breeze together, watched the moon just wondering whether we would ever go there. Why is it so hard to say the things right in my heart, the way I feel? Now you're so far away, I wish that I could hold your hand.
Our words of inspiration today come from Mandy Hale. Dance, smile, giggle, marvel. Trust, hope. Love, wish, believe. Most of all, enjoy every moment of the journey and appreciate where you are at this moment instead of always focusing on how far you have to go. And from Rumi, that which God said to the rose and caused it to laugh in full bloom beauty, He said to my heart and made it 100 times more beautiful.
I love being here with you in this community where we know the great truth that we are one. One planet, one home, one family. But when you browse Facebook or watch the 24-hour news, it doesn't feel that way. That's not the way it's painted. It's painted as two sides at war. Blue versus red, white versus black, vax versus anti-vax, choice versus life. What a ridiculous separation. We know that it's an illusion and that in reality we are one, but it's so hard to remember that every day at this time in our conversations with our friends and our family and our co-workers and those random strangers on Facebook at midnight. So this is a song I wrote about trying to be a force for unity in a world that wants to pull us apart, and it's called Enemy. I can't win with you. Red or black, I lose. I'm cracking my chest, giving my best. You're throwing it back, I'm trying to be real. So why do you feel you're under attack? I can't win with you. You're standing right in front of me, freezing over my melody. Let me show you the real me. I'm not your enemy. I don't want you to run away. I've got so much I wanted to say. Let me show you the real me. I'm not your enemy. Arguing all night, sleeping through the daylight. There was a time we had a line that we wouldn't cross. We had a dream, we were a team. Now it's all been lost. I don't want to fight. No, no. You're standing right in front of me, screaming over my melody. Let me show you the real me. I'm not your enemy. I don't want you to run away. I've got so much I wanted to say. Let me show you the real me. I'm not your enemy. We both got our reasons for being this way. We both got our demons to slay. This is not how it has to be. You're not getting the best of me. I'm not your enemy. I don't want you to run away. I've got so much I wanted to say. Let me show you the real me. I'm not your enemy. I'm not your enemy. I'm not your enemy. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bijou, Josh, Stu, Tom Litch. Thank you, Rocio Self, for that beautiful reading. Yes, she's representing our Adventures in Faith Committee, and I welcome you this morning to our 2021 Adventure in Faith, 5 Gates to Living Now. And we often measure historical events based upon our ability to remember what we were doing just as they happened. JFK being shot, MLK, RFK, planes hitting the Twin Towers and the Pentagon on 9/11. And yet it's been a little different with this pandemic these last 18 months because there's so many bizarre moments to remember, right? And for me, I go to March 11th, 2020. That was the night that the NBA suspended its season in the middle of a game. And it was also the night that America's dad, Tom Hanks, got diagnosed with COVID, which caused us all to go, oh my God, if it could happen to Dad, it could happen to me. And so it really kind of began. I'll always remember that next day sitting in Dr. Michelle's office with Tom Litz, our music director, and Jennifer Burnett, our artistic director, and having to make that god-awful call, we can't have people in the sanctuary this Sunday. Isn't that terrible? And we had to reinvent the service, not only so that it could better express online, but so that we could speak to what was going on. We even received a great video from Martin Kerr, some of you may remember, that spoke to the pandemic, and was so grateful to have that. And I remember thinking to myself, oh God, I just hope this only lasts a couple weeks. Right? And that's so much been the story in this pandemic. It's like The Godfather 3. Just when you think you're out, they pull you back in. And for me, there's another significant moment during the pandemic, but it's something that's individual for each one of us. For some of us, it may have been a gradual realization. And it was the realization that there would be no getting back to normal. That life and the world had changed. And when we got back to whatever the new normal would be, education would be different, shopping would be different, work would be different. And what I hope for each of us, no matter how tragic or isolating or lonely or infuriating the pandemic has been for you, I hope there was also a moment of a little bit of excitement, a little bit of anticipation that said, I'm leaving normal behind, and I have the opportunity to co-create a new normal today. In this crisis, there is an opportunity to reprioritize my life, to sink more deeply into who I am and why I'm here, to make significant conscious changes. And that's what this Adventures in Faith this year is all about. It's about leaving normal behind, ceasing waiting for the new normal to be described and handed to us, and saying, I will and I am co-creating with a power greater than I am a new life and a new way of being today. And that's what these 5 gates are all about. They speak to exterior aspects of our lives, but they're really interior aspects. Resonance, relationship, relevance, realness, and rebirth. And I want to let you know just a few ways that you can participate in this year's adventure in faith. It's all about going deeper than the talks. You can go online to milehighchurch.org, and there's an AIF landing page. And the most important thing you can do is you can join a free small group, just 10 people or so. They're on campus here. You could actually, if you're here in the room, go to see Reverend Chris in the lobby, and she'll send you right to a group that starts at 11:30. But they're online as well for those watching at home or watching here, and they're all throughout the week. You just pick your date and time, and you just show up. If you can't make it this week, come next week. Also on that site, there are all the materials for the small groups that if you like to roll solo, you can do it yourself and read through the material. There's our daily pearls that you can sign up, and keep looking on the services page and on that page, and every week there'll be new opportunities for us to go deeper than just with the talks from Michelle and I. And I want to thank our committee, and I want to thank all of the practitioners who agreed to lead these small groups. Will you raise your hand if you're here? Thank you. Or a committee member? Yeah, you're around here. Great. Let's hear it for them. And the first gate to living now that we're talking about today is resonance. Resonance. What does resonance mean? For me, it's when your inner life is in divine appointment with what's going on around you. It's when your inner life and your outer exterior life match up, and when they're in sync. I love how the great theologian Howard Thurman put it. He said, life moves at a deeper level than the objective and the data of our senses. We are most alive when we are brought face to face with the response of the deepest thing in us to the deepest thing in life. Can you think about those times for you when the deepest part of you connected with the deepest part of life around you? That's resonance. And yet, like any sense of the soul, if we don't use it, it becomes dormant. And too many of us, especially in these pandemic times, have lost that sense of resonance because we feel that we're living in a world that's bonkers, right? And it doesn't resonate, and it causes us to withdraw, but we have to remind ourselves that we still live in God's world, that we still live in a sacred space. And that resonance is this aspect of inner life. You know, we forget sometimes that there's a difference between having dinner and experiencing dinner. There's a difference between saying that you love your spouse and that experience of loving your spouse. There's a difference between affirming the existence of the divine and the sacred out there somewhere and experiencing that divinity and that sacredness in your life. And when we touch that part of ourselves and begin to just open our minds, open our hearts, open our lives a little bit, we begin to feel our connection again. Yes, my life does belong to me. Yes, this world is a good place. Yes, I can move through the seeming madness that Martin was referring to and remember that just because the world seems to have gone crazy doesn't mean that I have to be. I had an experience during the pandemic, probably my craziest moment. It was a moment of stress. And it happened in February of this year, kind of the height of things going on. And I woke up that morning and my wife wasn't feeling well. So, sweetheart, you're staying in bed today, which means that I would take on the care of our 2-year-old, who turned 3 last weekend. I can't believe it either. It means that I would be in charge of our son and getting him up for whatever they were calling school that week. And it meant, too, that I'd be working from home, thankfully, and we had some important meetings going on that day. And so we're a few hours into the day, and my daughter has me with butterfly wings chasing her around the house. I still haven't been able to get my son out of bed and awake. I'm trying to take care of my wife, and we're in one of those courageous conversations in a meeting where we don't all see eye to eye. And have you ever had the feeling, I call it breaking glass? It's that feeling, I can't think of a better term for it, where it feels like everything at any moment could just break. Have you ever had that feeling before? And I'm arguing with butterfly wings on, dancing around the house, and there's a Spotify app on the TV, and we're playing a mix I'd made my wife. And this song comes on by Tom Petty. It's called You and Me. Take a look at what I got. I can't promise you a lot, but you and me and the road ahead. And my daughter standing very still, and she's holding out her hands. And I can see it in her eyes, and maybe this sounds weird, but have you ever had that with a kid where you realize you're not just looking at the child, but their whole soul is there? Just the wholeness of her being is right there, and it wakes up the wholeness of my being in that very moment. Wherever that wind might blow, wherever that river rolls, you know I'll be there with you. Just you and me and the road ahead. And she holds out her hands, and we start to dance, just a slow dance. And I get my first slow daughter-daddy dance. And I began to weep. I almost want to weep right now. Not because of just that beautiful moment, but there was a realization of God's grace in that moment that I hadn't earned that. I had not earned that moment of grace because I was so caught up in the craziness of the day. And yet somehow, God brought me that experience. God gave me that gift to remind me, as crazy as the world may seem, I don't have to be. That as much as things may not seem okay, I can still be okay. And it's an amazing experience when God grabs you and tells you, I've got you. I've got you. I've got you. I've got you. It says it in the book of Isaiah, which I recommend breezing through while watching the Bronco game later today. I have chosen you and have not rejected you. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I have strengthened you and have also helped you. Yea, I will also uphold you. I'll just be open to the idea. There's that divine presence. And really, you don't have to do anything at all, but do your damnedest to be prepared. That little bit to open your mind, that little bit to break down all of that plaque around the heart, that emotional stuff. To open your life to that idea that you live in God's universe and that there are messages all around us. The sacred is around us all of the time, speaking to us if we'd only listen. It's not saying, hey, Ellen, it's me, God. How's it going? LOL. Yes. It doesn't speak to us like that. But it's in those moments of resonance. It's in those moments of opportunities for connection. It's in those moments where we either open up or it breaks us open to experience its depth, its grace, and its beauty. You know what the worst feeling is? This isn't a good opportunity for crowd interaction. It could get dark. You know what the worst feeling is? For me, it's not pain. It's not fear. It's not sorrow. It's not being able to feel at all. It's apathy. It's knowing that sun is rising and it's beautiful and gorgeous and not being able to recognize it. It's hearing your child's beautiful laughter, caught in an eternal moment of time and totally missing it. It's the recognition that you're alive and the people that you love, whether they're here with us or not in form, are with you too. And how wonderful, what a miracle to be alive, to be in this messy universe, or those making a mess of it, right? But not feeling it. And that's what's happened for so many of us in this pandemic. That's what I hear more than anything else. I feel disconnected from what's sacred to me. I no longer feel like myself, and I feel like life has to be laid out for me through someone's point of view than that it's my own. That is why resonance is so important, to build and nurture it in our lives so that we don't get caught up in just feeling possessed by the issues and challenges in the world. We get to possess the heart, the courage and the clarity to walk through them and be transformational agents in them. One of my favorite spiritual teachers growing up when I was a teenager was Alan Watts. How many of us know who Alan Watts is? He's an Episcopal priest from England, would eventually live in a houseboat in San Francisco and would become the spiritual father of the counterculture movement. He got very into Eastern religions and would pretty much translate it for hippies. And for all of us, and there's a station in California called KPFK, and they would play Alan Watts in the middle of the night. I think they play him somewhere here in the mornings on Sundays. And he would always just talk really cool stuff. It was great to stay up to. And one of his most famous pieces he wrote about in a book called The Taboo Against Knowing Who You Are, which is a great title for a book. And he would talk about it in lectures too, and he classified people and the world the following way. He said there are basically two kinds of philosophy. One's called prickles, and the other's called goo. Prickly people are precise, rigorous, and logical. They like everything chopped up and clear. Where are my prickles? Gooey people like it vague. For example, in physics, prickly people believe that the ultimate constituents of matter are particles. Gooey people believe it's waves. And in philosophy, prickly people are logical positives and gooey people are idealists. And they're always arguing with each other. But what they don't realize is that neither one can take his position without the other person, because you wouldn't know you advocated prickles unless there was somebody else advocating goo. You wouldn't know what a prickle was unless you knew what a goo was, because life is not either prickles or goo, it's gooey prickles and prickly goo. All right, so where are my prickles? Where are my gooey people? Where are my gooey prickles? And where are my prickly goos? See, we can all connect in that. And I'm a student of pop culture, as you know, and these were very influential words. They were very influential to a guy named Art Clokey, who invented a character called Gumby, and his friend Pokey. He needed to add 2 friends to them, and you know what their names were? Prickles and Goo. In the more modern era, 2 college students made one of their first animated pieces to Alan Watts talking about prickles and goo. They are the new owners of Casa Bonita. Their names are Colorado's own Trey Parker and Matt Stone. And they made a little cartoon. You can see an image of it here. You can see the prickles. You can see the goo. And they created a important cartoon for my generation, which you can see the seeds of, right? Does that not look like Cartman from South Park there in the green? And you can YouTube that one later and check them out, and love and blessings to Matt and Trey. There's something else I love that Alan Watts said that speaks to our topic today. He said, the fundamental, ultimate mystery, the only thing you need to know to understand the deepest metaphysical secrets is this: that for every outside there is an inside, and for every inside there is an outside. And although they are different, they go together. And that's what the resonance I'm talking about means when I'm talking about it today. It's that ability to have the inner experience of what's going on around you, to move out from a place of dissonance, of feeling separated from everything, to slowly, meticulously, intentionally being available for connection and resonance in every moment. It's a creative power. It's a deepening experience. It's an authentic way of being that allows us to converse with what is sacred to us in all of life, in the mundane and in the extraordinary. Even Jesus in the Gospel of Thomas says that the way to enter the kingdom of heaven is to make the 2 one, to make the outer like the inner and the inner like the outer, because that's when we truly live our lives in wholeness, inner life and outer life together. Gandhi may have put it simpler. He said, happiness is when your thoughts, words, and actions are in harmony. That's what we're seeking for with resonance. And I want to share with you 3 commitments, not just for today's talk, but for this entire adventure in faith, these next 5 weeks together, that I'm going to make and try and keep, and I invite you to make them with me. And the first is I will consistently commit to living in God's universe. I will consistently remind myself that I live in God's universe. Take a moment each and every day when you can, have that prayerful consciousness. What is my grandest imagination of what my life can be, of who I am, of what my relationships are? Then pause and just open up. It may sound a little weird, and ask yourself, what is God's grandest imagination of what life is, of what my relationships mean, of who I am? Richard Bach said something similar. He said, imagine the universe as amazing and wonderful as you can, and remember, something has imagined it greater than even you can. And let's start downloading that. Let's start opening up to receive that resonance with the divine. The second commitment is, I will cease tearing down and seek to only lift up. I'm going to stop tearing people down, and I'm going to start lifting up. The only thing I'm sicker of than people being mean is being mean myself. You know, they say if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all, but it doesn't mean I'm not thinking it, right? And there is that discord, there is that anger about the miscommunication going on and the frustration with not being able to get it together better in some areas of society, even in my own life. But you know, I'm going to acknowledge it, and I'm going to be a presence that's seeking to lift people up, and I'm going to stop tearing down. You know, in some of our small groups or in the material you may download today, you'll see a handout, and it talks about what leads to dissonance and what leads to resonance. So I know that when I'm in victimhood or in blame, I'm in dissonance. When I'm holding everything to the past or my judgments, I'm in dissonance. Even when I'm living in my favorite illusion that I'm right, I'm in dissonance. When I'm overly pessimistic, I'm in dissonance. When I believe in an enemy, I'm in dissonance. When I'm in unhealthy communication, just holding it all back, unwilling to be vulnerable, I'm in dissonance. And if I want to get to resonance, I have to start taking acceptance and responsibility for my own life. I have to stay open to the present and stop holding everyone and everything to the past. I have to stay humble. I have to stay open at the top. Sound familiar? I want to be optimistic. I want to seek harmony with others. And I have to be willing to communicate courageously, authentically, to share what it is that I believe or what I'm experiencing, but also to try and do so in such a way that feels so authentic that the person talking with me can feel they can do the same thing. When I can do these things, I can move to that greater sense of resonance in my life, and it starts creating, it starts cultivating, it starts helping me to feel like my life belongs to me again and not to someone or something else. Lastly, I will leave normal behind and start doing the work to co-create my new normal with the divine. I will courageously and consciously leave normal behind and consciously co-create a new normal with the divine. So that's the heart of our teaching. That prayer, power greater than you are, you can use it. That grace deep in your heart that reveals itself from time to time, it's the truth of who you are, and we can use it together. And just as a way of closing today, I want to bring in some wisdom from a great teacher. You may have heard of him. His name is Roger Teal. Spoke the last 2 Sundays. That's my analogy for Roger, is that he's like John Elway coming back to throw games for the Denver Broncos. So it's humbling for the other quarterbacks, but it's great for our spiritual community. And Roger's known as the king of acronyms. But what I admire most about Roger as a spiritual teacher is he has this ability to articulate incredible, heart-inspiring questions. He connects deep within, and he comes out with these questions that really open me up to think of the divine and possibilities in a greater way. And so I'm going to share 3 with you today from his book, This Life is Joy. And if you'd like, you can close your eyes or just be present, or pull out something to write with and on. And his first question is, what in my experience no longer represents the truth of my spiritual nature or the mandates of my heart? What in my experience no longer represents the truth of my spiritual nature or the mandates of my heart? And he also asks, what is the Spirit-inspired possibility for my life that a part of me is afraid to comprehend? What is that Spirit-inspired possibility for my life that a part of me is afraid to comprehend? And lastly, what next step seeks to be conceived in my awareness and incubated in my heart? What next step seeks to be conceived in my awareness and incubated in my heart? And what a wonderful segue into prayer, planting the seeds of divine ideas into the rich soil of the heart. And I invite any of our incredible prayer practitioners to stand and join me in this community prayer as we create a space of listening to the divine, of asking ourselves, what incubates in my heart this day that even when I move my attention away from it, I know is growing and expanding and thriving like that smallest mustard seed of faith, that when we nurture it, grows like wildfire in our lives. And so in this soil of the heart today, may we each plant a seed of resonance that flowers into greater sense of connection, a more profound way of feeling and being ourselves, and experiencing the richness of the miracle of life in as many moments as we can. And may we also plant a seed of relationship, of remembering the depths of our connections, getting rid of any surface fear or discord or disconnect, to remember the very fruit of learning what divine life means in our relationships with those we love and who love us. May we also plant a seed of relevance, committing to not turn away our head from any problem or challenge in the world, but to look it right in the eye with the power within us, knowing it can overcome any perceived obstacle. And may we plant a seed of realness, realizing that simply by being wholly authentic, we express the beautiful, precious children of God that we are. And lastly, a seed of rebirth, to let go of that which can contain the qualities of the life we seek no longer, to allow new forms to be built, new ways of understanding, new ways of healing to be realized and embodied right here in this most sacred moment there is, this right here, this right now. May we walk through the gate. May we open the gates and allow that Spirit into our own heart and our own life so that it and we and all of us may thrive. And so it is. Amen.
This is not how it has to be. You're not getting the best of me. I'm not your enemy. I don't want you to run away. I've got so much I wanted to say. Let me show you the real me. I'm not your enemy. I'm not your enemy. I'm not your enemy.
Thank you, Martin. As we move into our time of offering today, again, just a shout out of thanks to our Adventures in Faith committee that have been working months to put this together for us. And again, thank you to all the practitioners who are leading groups, you who are participating in them. And thanks for all that you do to financially support this incredible spiritual community. We are so grateful for every gift that we receive, knowing it comes from that place of creativity and in love. So whether you give $1, $100, whatever it is, know that it's just infused in a way that we are so grateful to receive and expand this incredible community in. So you know the deal. You can give in the baskets here, or you can give online. You can mail a check. You can text to give. The number's on the screen. Thank you so much, everybody. Let's say our offering affirmation together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is.
So, if you've given all of your money to the basket, you'll be very glad to know that we do accept credit card and debit at the merchandise table. It's a wonderful place to visit, folks. It's right out there in the lobby. I'll be there giving out free hugs and more expensive items. Namely, you can actually take me home with you today in miniaturized form. You may remember these from last time. This is the Mini Martin USB stick. He contains everything I've ever recorded, including 3 new albums since I saw you last. So even if you have the old one, you can get another. And to get the music out, you just take off his pants and plug him in wherever you like, the car stereo, the TV. And he goes for hours and hours once you get him going. So those are there for $40, 12 albums. And you can also get yourself a You're Amazing t-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Modeled by myself and the lovely Tom. They come in blue and orange. They're very snuggly, 100% cotton, only $20. A wonderful gift for yourself or others. And I really don't want to have to take them home to Canada with me, so please buy all of them.
They're really comfortable.
They certainly
Very
are.
comfortable.
And the text on them is the chorus line from this next song, which is called You're Amazing. I wrote it for my wife because she told me to. And today I'm singing it for you, and we're going to sing it for each other because it has one of those super easy sing-along choruses. You'll pick it up right away. Let's give it a go. One day, we'll be looking back on this and we'll say, aren't you happy that we did it our way? Everyone we knew was saying no way, but we were never listening anyway. So don't be just standing in the doorway. Don't you know we gotta hit the highway? Darling, this is gonna be a good day. And I've gotta say that I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. One day, I'll be looking back on this and I'll say, I'm so happy that you said you would stay. There were times I know that I was crazy, fraying at the edges and you saved me. I'm losing count of chances that you gave me. You're laughing at me dancing really badly, telling me the reasons why you'd gladly do it all again. Cause I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Did you get it yet? Give it a try. I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Well, hey, words could never adequately convey everything you're giving to me today. But holding you is better than a holiday, and leaving you, I dread it like exam day. So at the risk of sounding kinda risque, everything to now has been the foreplay. Darling, I would follow you to Norway or anywhere you wanted, cause I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. All together now. I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Solo. We had a real trumpet on the record. myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Sing it to somebody next to you now. I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Look him in the eyes, make it awkward. I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Turn around and choose somebody else. I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. And somebody else again, go on. I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Really embarrass them now, come on. I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Once for this incredible band. I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. One more time.
I'm not bad myself.
You're amazing. One day, when we're getting wrinkly and our hair's grey, a rusty old banger in the driveway, one of us will maybe wear a toupee, and I will be in love with you. Thank you so much, folks. I'll see you in the lobby. You've been wonderful.
I'm not bad myself, but Martin, you are amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your gifts, making this a better place. And Josh, awesome message. Awesome message. Awesome start to AIF. Thank you, brother. Thank you. If you are new to this community, check out our Welcome Center right in the center of the lobby. We got a bunch of information for you. And if you're in a hurry or going somewhere, well, we've got that same information by both of the doors on either end of the lobby. And if prayer is calling to you, we are a prayer community, and we have these amazing practitioners that after the service you can come on down and get a quick prayer for. And of course, you can always get a prayer request online. So thank you.
Hey, if you like pumpkins, we have a pumpkin patch every year. We raise tens of thousands of dollars for Habitat for Humanity, and we need people who really like pumpkins because we have trucks that need unloaded. You'll see a beautiful man named Tom Brune and his wife Linda dressed like pumpkins outside there at a table signing you up today. Speaking of Halloween, one of the high holy holidays here at Mile High Church, our trunk or treat is coming together October 16th. You can sign your kids up, register online, but we need people to decorate their cars and give out candy too. So you can sign up for that online. That's October 16th. 3 great classes starting this week, Dr. Patty. There is prayer as a spiritual practice with Reverend Carol. Reverend Jackie's teaching Pillars of New Thought. And let me see if I can say it. You are teaching existential metapsychiatry.
You can pass the class because you said it. It's a great course, and the subject we're going to tackle is anchorless living, transcendent regard. So you might want to sign up for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. Get your butt in a small group. If you'd like, stand. We're going to say our benediction together and sing our peace song. Let us know that resonance in our heart, resonance in our mind, resonance in all that we do. We give thanks and praise for it. And so it is.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. As God has our power, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment